charity that tries to help rescued animals in need of surgery is closing after criticism it was doing more harm than good.
Surgeons for Strays performed operations for free using medical doctors who volunteered all of their time.
From the state's perspective, the charity was not doing anything illegal, but some veterinarians say the only people who should operate on animals are trained as veterinarian surgeons. They say the charity exposes a loophole in state law that should be closed.
11 Alive's Kaitlyn Ross now has been following the story for us, all new at 6.
Doctors with Surgeons for Strays have operated on 86 animals, and they say there's never been a problem with any of the animals. But after what they were doing started getting publicity, veterinarians pushed back, saying while they might be in it for the right reasons, they thought what they were doing was wrong.
Oh, he's the best.
Dr. John Keating started Surgeons for Strays because he saw a desperate need for it. Rescue groups couldn't always afford expensive surgeries for the animals, forcing them to euthanize otherwise healthy cats and dogs. The charity paid for the surgeries, sometimes costing up to $15,000, performing them in a veterinary office under the supervision of a vet. 11 Alive talked to Dr. Keating before he shut down Surgeons for Strays amid the backlash from other veterinarians.
If these are dogs who are doomed, then nobody's going to fix them.
Dr. Keating most recently operated on a dog that had been beaten with a bat and turned over to animal cruelty officers. The dog's surgery would have cost $15,000. We checked with the state licensing board. It told us under Georgia state law what Dr. Keating was doing was not illegal because he was doing it with a vet. But veterinarians in Atlanta pushed back. Dr. Alan Cross filed a complaint against Dr. Keating with the Georgia Board of Veterinary Medicine.
Our concern was that these patients weren't being handled in the best way just because of lack of training.
He and other veterinarians say the controversy points to the need to change or clarify state laws so that only licensed veterinary surgeons can perform operations on animals.
We do at-cost surgeries almost daily, just kind of consider it part of our job.
Dr. Keating says all he ever wanted to do was help the homeless dogs and cats in Georgia.
You know, we go so hard in human medicine that we need, every once in a while we need to circle back and remember why we're doing this, and that's to do some good.
There is a larger conversation going on about this on our 11 Alive Facebook page and about how to best help homeless dogs and cats. Every year in the United States, 2.4 million healthy animals are euthanized because they can afford to find a home.
Tonight